Hello, you sexy bastard. It's your boy Prof Trof, and we're back again with another video. How y'all doing today? This is the history of Japan by Bill Wurtz. People said that this and the history of the whole world, I guess, they're amazing videos. So we're gonna check out the history of Japan first. Thanks by the same dude, the history of the world. Let's go.
Japan is an island by the sea filled with volcanoes, and it's beautiful. In the year -1 billion, Japan might not have been here. In the year -40,000, it was here, and you could walk to it, and some people walked to it. Then it got warmer, some icebergs melted, it became an island, and now there's lots of trees.
Yo, okay, we're going fast, huh? Okay.
Because it's warmer.
Ah.
So now there's people on the island. They're basically sort of hanging out in between the mountains, eating nuts off trees, and using the latest technology, like stones,
Not
and
eating each other's
bowls.
nuts?
Ding dong, it's the outside world, and they have technology from the future, like really good metal and crazy rice farms. Now you can make a lot of rice really quickly.
Ooh.
That means if you own the farm, you own a lot of food, which is something everybody needs to survive. So that makes you king. Rice farming and rice kingdoms spread across the land,
Wait.
all the way to here.
They had kingdoms in Japan? Or were they not?
Most important kingdoms were here, and here.
Hey, it's high!
But this one was the most
Yamato?
important, ruled by a heavenly superperson, or emperor for short. Knock knock, get the door, it's religion. The new prince wants everyone to try this hot new religion from
Buddhism?
Biek. Please try this religion, he said. No, said everybody. Try it, he said. No, said everybody again, quieter this time. And so the religion was put into place, and all the rules that came with it.
Fair enough.
Then the government was taken over by another clique, and they made some reforms, like making the government govern more, and making the government more like China's government, which is a government that governs more. Hi, China, they said. Hi, dipshit.
We definitely know that China's government governs a lot.
China.
Even nowadays.
Can you call us something else other than dipshit? Said Japan. Like what? Said China. How about Sunrise Land? Said Japan.
Nihon?
And they stole China's alphabet and wrote a book about themselves. And then they made lots of poetry and art and another book about themselves. Then they stopped moving the capital every time the emperor died and kept it in one place for a while, right here.
Ooh.
And they conquered the north finally.
Kyoto?
Get that squared away. A rich hipster named Kukai is bored with modern Buddhism. Visited the north finally. Get
Okay,
that squared
if
away.
they conquered the north, what was the north before that?
A rich hipster named Kukai is bored with modern Buddhism, visits China, and learns a better version, which is more
Zen Buddhism.
comes back, reinvents the alphabet, and causes art and literature to be great for a long time. And the royal palace turned into such a dream world of art that they really didn't give a shit about running the country. So if you live outside the palace, how are you supposed to protect your shit from criminals? Hire a samurai. Everyone started hiring samurai.
Bro, that
to protect your
horse
shit
is
from
fat as a
criminals.
motherfucker. Yo! What is that unit? Like, fuck this samurai. Can I hire the horse? Look at him. Dude, thick as
Samurai.
Bro.
Everyone started hiring samurai. Rich, important people hired samurai. Poor people who could not afford to hire samurai did not hire samurai. The samurai became organized and powerful, more powerful than the government. So they made their own military government. Here,
shogunate.
they let the emperor still be emperor, but the shogun is actually in control.
Okay, so that's listen, the only history of Japan that I know is Big Bomb fell twice and everything from Shogun to Total War. But it's interesting to find out how the shogunate was actually made. Samurai too strong, they make their own government.
They let the emperor still be emperor, but the shogun is actually in control.
Okay.
Breaking news, the Mongols have invaded China.
We've invaded China,
said the Mongols.
Please respect us, or else we might invade you as well.
Okay, said Japan. So the Mongols came over, ready for war, and died in a tornado. But they tried again, and had a nice time fighting with the Japanese, but then died in a tornado. Then the emperor overthrows the shogunate, then the shogunate overthrows him.
Wait, they tried to invade twice and got fucked by tornadoes twice. Fair enough.
And the emperor can still dress like an emperor if he wants, that's fine. Shogunate overthrows him back and moves to Kyoto and makes a new shogunate. And the emperor can still dress like an emperor if he wants, that's fine. Now there's more art. Like painting with less colors, collaborative poetry, plays, monkey fun, tea parties, gardening, architecture, flowers. It's time for who's going to be the next shogun. Usually it's the shogun's kid, but the shogun doesn't have a kid. So he tries to get his brother to quit being a monk and be the next shogun. He says okay, but then the shogun has a kid. So now who's it going to be? Vote now on your phones. And everyone voted so hard that the palace caught on fire and burned down. The shogun actually didn't care. He was off somewhere doing poetry. And the whole country broke into pieces. Everyone is fighting with each other for
okay, this is where Total War, Shogun to Total War, this is, the time. The whole time. It's like the Chinese war, but, a lot later on.
Everyone is fighting with each other for local power, and it's anybody's game. Knock knock, it's Europe. No, they're not here to take over. They just want to sell some shit,
Yet.
like clocks and guns and
Ooh.
cheeses. So that's cool, but everyone's still fighting each other for control, now with guns. And wouldn't it be nice to control the capital, which right now is puppets, with no one controlling them? This clan is ready to make a run for it,
Imagawa?
but first they have to trample this smaller clan, which is in the way.
Oda?
Surprise, the smaller clan wins,
Nobunaga?
and the leader of that clan steals the idea of invading the capital and invades the capital. And it goes very well. He's about halfway through conquering Japan when someone who works for him kills him, and then someone else who works for him kills them, and that guy finishes conquering Japan. And then he
Hideyoshi.
confiscated everybody's swords and made some rules.
Wait.
Now I'm going to invade Korea.
No having a sword or a gun, no climbing the social ladder, pay taxes. Fair enough.
And now I'm going to invade Korea and then hopefully China, he said, and failed, and also died. But before he died, he told these 5 guys to take care of his 5-year-old son until he's old enough to be the
No!
These 5 guys
What's
to
the
take care
names? Morite Kuromoku, Tokugawa Ieyasu, Maidatoshi, Yosugi Kage Katsuo. Why does he have a sock on his head? Whatever. Okita Hideyei. This dude wins.
of his 5-year-old son until he's old enough to be the next ruler of Japan. And the 5 guys said, yeah, right, it's not going to be this kid, it's going to be one of us, because we're grown-ups. And it's probably going to be this guy, who happens to be way more rich and powerful than
He
the others.
fat.
A lot of people support him, but a lot of people support not supporting him. They have a fight, and he wins, and starts a new government, right here. And he still lets the emperor dress like an emperor, and have very nice things. But don't get confused, this is the new government, and they are very strict. So strict they closed the country. No one can
Damn.
leave, and no one can come in. Except for the Dutch, if they want to buy and sell shit, but they have to do it right here. Now that the entire country was not at war with itself, the population increased a lot. Business increased, schools were built, roads were built, everyone learned to read, books were published, there was poetry, plays, sexy times, puppet shows, and Dutch studies. People started to
Dutch
study
studies?
European science from books they bought from the Dutch. We're talking geography, skeletons, physics, chemistry, astronomy, and maybe even electricity. Over time, the economic and cultural prosperity began to gradually slow down. Knock knock. It's the United States.
Who's
Huge
there?
boats with guns.
And guns? Yep.
Gunboats. Open
Oh,
the
shit.
country. Stop having it be closed, said the United States. There's really nothing they could
Why was this a thing? Why did... I mean, I realized why they wanted to be open, you know, trade and shit, but... Why force them to open the country?
do, so they signed
Curious.
a contract that lets United States, Britain, and Russia visit Japan anytime they want. Choshu and Satsuma hated this. That sucks, they said. This sucks. And with almost
This is the Samurai Rebellions. Last Samurai movie and shit, right?
very little outside help, they overthrew the shogunate and somehow
Oh.
made the emperor again and moved him to Edo, which they renamed Eastern Capital. They made a new
Okay,
government,
yeah.
which was a lot more Western. They made a new constitution that was pretty Western,
more Western.
and a military that was pretty
Western.
Western. And do you know what else is Western? That's right, it's conquering stuff. So what can we conquer? Korea. They conquer Korea, taking it from its previous owner, China, and then go a little bit further. And Russia rushes in out of nowhere and says,
Russia
"Stop,
rushes
no,
in.
you can't take that. We were going to build a railroad through here to try to get some warm water." And Russia builds their railroad, supervised by a shit ton of soldiers. And then when the railroad was done, they downgraded to a fuck ton. Did I say downgrade? I meant upgrade. And Japan says, "Can you maybe chill?" And Russia says, "How about maybe you chill?" Japan is kind of scared of Russia. You'll
Yo, Russia, chill. This ain't Ukraine, bruh. Chill.
never guess who's
just come in
also
with the
kind of
tanks.
scared of Russia. Great Britain. So Japan and Great Britain make an alliance together so they can be a little less scared of Russia.
Okay.
Feeling confident, Japan goes to war against Russia, just for a moment, and then they both get tired and
I
stop.
didn't know this was
It's
them.
time for World War I. The world is about to have a war because it's the 1900s
Wait.
and weapons are getting.
What does Japan do in World War One? I don't actually know. I know what happens in World War Two, but World War what? Oh,
Crazy,
interesting.
and all these empires are excited to try them out on each other. Meanwhile, Japan has been enjoying conquering stuff and wants more. And the next thing on their list is this part of China and lots of tiny islands. All that stuff belongs to Germany, which just had war declared on it by Britain because Britain was friends with Belgium, which was being trespassed by Germany in order to get to France to kick France's ass because France is friends with Russia, who was getting ready to kick
Okay,
Austria's
okay.
ass because Austria was getting ready to kick Serbia's ass because someone from Serbia shot the leader of Austria's ass.
Damn.
Or actually shot him in the head.
Ah,
And Britain is currently friends with Japan, so you know what that means. Duh, Japan should take the islands. Which they wanted to do anyway, so they called Britain on the telly to sort of let them know. And then they
Okay.
did it. And they also helped Britain a little here and there with some errands and stuff. Now the war is over, and congratulations, Japan, you technically fought in the war, which means you get to sit at
so Japan took shit. That seems like a pretty good outcome for them after the First World War.
the negotiating table with the big dudes, where they decided who owns what. And yes, Japan
Hey.
gets to keep all that shit. They negotiating table with the big dudes, where they decided who owns what.
There's Bulgaria. We're green and not full yet, and a little fucked.
And yes, Japan gets to keep all that shit they stole from
Of course
Germany.
they do.
You also get to join the post-war mega alliance, the League of Nations, whose mission statement is to try not to take over the world. The Great Depression is bad, and Japan's economy is now crappy, but the military is doing just fine, and it invades Manchuria. In the League of Nations, it's like, no, don't do that. If you're in the League of Nations, you're not supposed to take over the world. And Japan said, how about I do anyway? And Japan invaded more and more and more and more of China, and was planning to invade...
Whoa. Really? Jesus. By the way, like China, I've always wondered about this, because I know Japan invaded China and stuff happened, but how did they win? Like, this is Japan, right? And China is, you know, a little bit bigger. It has a lot more people. How did they win?
More and more and more and more of China,
Jesus
and
Christ.
was planning to invade the entire East.
You've got mail.
It's from Germany, the new leader of Germany. He has a cool mustache, and he's trying to take over the
Subject
world
friendship.
and be friends. This also got forwarded to Italy. They all decided to be friends because they had so much in common. It's time for world. This also got forwarded to Italy.
What's there?
They all decided to be friends because they had so much in common.
Trying to take over the world needs friends. Trying to take over the world needs friends. Trying to take over the world.
It's
It needs friends.
World War II. Germany is invading the neighbors. Then they invade the neighbors' neighbors. Then the neighbors' neighbors' neighbors, who happen to be Britain, said, holy shit. And the United States started helping Britain because they are good friends, and started not helping Japan because they're friends and our friends are not friends. Plus they're planning on invading the entire ocean.
True.
The United States is also working on a large, very huge bomb, bigger than any other bomb, ever, just in case. But they still haven't joined the war. War looks bad on TV, and the United States is really starting to care about their image. But then Japan spits on them in Hawaii and challenges them to war.
Pearl
And they say
Harbor.
yes. And then Germany, as a symbol of friendship,
I wonder why they
declares war
did
on the
that.
United States.
I wonder why they did that. That seems like a...
Germany, as a symbol of friendship, declares war on the United States also. So the United States goes to war in Europe, and they help the gang chase Germany back into Germany. And they also start chasing Japan back into Japan. And they haven't used the bomb yet, and are curious to see if it works. So they drop it on Japan.
Twice.
They actually drop 2.
Damn. UN.
The United States installed a new government, inspired by the United States government, with just the right ingredients for a post-war economic miracle. And Japan starts making TVs, VCRs, automobiles, and camcorders as fast as
Subaru?
they can, and also better than everybody else. They
Mitsubishi?
get rich, and the economy goes wild, and then the miracle wears off. But everything's still pretty cool, I guess.
And then they invented hentai. And now VTubers. Okay. Japan is wild. Japan is wild. History of Japan, y'all. I love how knock knock get the door to religion happens to both Japan and my house. Oh jeez. What y'all think? What y'all think about this Japanese quick rehab on the history? It's interesting. I still wonder how they fucking managed to win land from China. China must have been at war with other people, or must have been doing something. Cause like they have so much more population, so much more peeps. It seems crazy to me. Anyway, I'll be playing chess today, so if you want to see a 5 IQ monkey play chess, come join me for that. Quick thank you to the YouTube members and Patreons. Tomorrow is YouTube member and Patreon request day, so yeah. And I'll be streaming some VTuber content tomorrow, so join me for that if you want to, and have a nice day everybody. Bye bye.